Hey gems, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to have a little chat with you guys, a little vulnerable moment kind of thing, and just tell you things I've learned, the things I've experienced in this whole single mothering life. So I have some notes just to kind of keep us together, just to make sure the delivery is good and receivable. Now, I want to say, you cannot talk about babies without talking about sex, because sex is what causes the baby, or a baby is a product of sex. So now the product, the baby, is not the sin. Sex is the sin. Sexual immorality is the sin. Fornication is the sin. Now, those two words, fornication and sexual immorality, are used often in the Bible when they are referring to having sex outside of marriage. Now, I do want to give you two definitions. The definition for fornication is consensual sexual intercourse between two persons not married to each other. When I looked it up, they said the fornication is, the Greek word for fornication is pornosia, which is pornography, porno type thing. Okay, keep that in mind. And then this one, sexual immorality, is the selling off, as you know, pornography, usually selling something, of sexual purity, and involves any time of sexual expression outside the boundaries of a biblically defined marriage. Biblically defined marriage. And the Hebrew word for sexual immorality, fornication, is zana, Z-A-N-A-H, to commit adultery. They say the spouse of Yah, like us, we're the spouse. We've committed adultery against him, our husband, our spiritual husband, to be unfaithful to Yah. We are performing spiritual prostitution, and it can be an addictive spirit to unfaithfulness. Keep that in mind throughout this whole conversation. We're basically selling our bodies. I just had a moment, but okay. So those are the things I want you to keep in mind, that you are committing adultery against Yah when you have sex outside of the confine of a marriage. Because up until the point you get married, you are his. He is your husband, you are his wife. You, like my last video where it says the things of a single person is to the Lord, but the things of a married person is to her husband. So keep that in mind. All right, now I do have a couple Bible verses. I'm gonna leave them here so you can read for yourself, but I am going to read one specific one for you, just so we can bring this thing together. We're going to read 1 Corinthians 6 verse 12 through 20. Now, I am reading from the Complete Jewish Bible. Sometimes I like their the way they word things, and it makes it a lot easier. So now we're going to read this, and then we're going to get into it. You say, for me, everything is permitted. Maybe, but not everything is helpful. For me, everything is permitted. Maybe, but not as far as I am concerned. I am not going to let anything gain control over me. Food is meat for the stomach, and the stomach for the food. Maybe, but God will put an end to both of them. Anyhow, the body is not meant for sexual immorality. Keep in mind, zina, committing adultery, being unfaithful to Yah, sexual immorality. Anyhow, the body is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord. And the Lord is for the body. Okay. God raised up the Lord. There's a difference between Lord, all capitalized, and Lord, capital L. So let's read that again. God raised up the Lord, and he will raise us up too by his power. Don't you know that your bodies are part of the Messiah's? So, am I to take parts of the Messiah and make them parts of a prostitute? Heaven forbid. Don't you know that a man who joins himself to a prostitute becomes physically one with her? For the Tanakh say, the Bible, Torah, the two will become one flesh. But the person who is joined to the Lord is one spirit. Run from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body. But the fornicator sins against his own body. Or don't you know that your body is a temple for the Ruach HaKodesh, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, who lives inside you, whom you receive from God? The fact is, you don't belong to yourselves, for you were bought at a price. So use your body to glorify God. I don't know if that could be any more simple, but basically, you are not yourself. Your body is not yours. It is a temple that you are borrowing to have this spiritual experience in. You were bought at a price by Yah, by God, by Jesus. You were bought. And like I said previously, until you get married, that body is his. So now the act of having sex outside of the covenant of a marriage between man and woman, outside of that, you are considered committing adultery, committing fornication, adultery to God, committing fornication against yourself. You're committing a sin against your own body when you do that. And here's why. When you have sex out of the confine of a marriage, there are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of things that can happen. And one of them is having a baby. Now, the baby is a product of the sin, which is a gift from God, because he told us in Genesis, be fruitful and multiply. He told Adam, be fruitful and multiply and subdue the earth. So being fruitful and multiply, having this baby, is part of it. But the way you went about it is not how I wanted it to go. Biblically defined marriage, it says. Biblically defined marriage. Another way you're sinning against your body is to become one. Two become one. Two flesh become one. Now imagine you are one with a person, but you're not with them. Your body is hurting. Your body is longing for that, your other piece of you, that piece of you that is missing. But you guys didn't even know each other enough, or don't even speak to each other, or you guys don't even communicate anymore. Like, that piece of you is missing. It's making me think of a song by Bia. It says, how you get my mind, no, how you get my body before my mind and my trust now. Like, we're giving away our prize, most prized possession, to the highest bidder or the lowest bidder, whoever, because we're not scoping these people out that we're having interactions with. But we're not thinking where this is going to lead. Another way you end up committing sin against your own body is that now I am OD stressed. I'm OD stressed because I have to take care of this kid by myself. I'm the cook, I'm the cleaner, I'm the provider. I have to give security. I have to teach. I have to do any and everything that it requires. Anything where it takes two, I am two. I am two. I'm being divided. I'm being divided, okay? I'm being divided in half to do everything that should have been done with two people in the biblically defined confine of a marriage. Now, of course, you'll say, oh, but you know, just because you're married doesn't mean it's better for the baby. Just because you're married doesn't mean you won't get a divorce. Again, I'm talking about a biblically defined marriage, the way Yah, God, intended for it to be, okay? In his world, in his perfect plan, this is how it was meant to be. Where first come loves, then come marriage, then comes the baby and the baby carriage or something. But it's like marriage and then babies. But somehow we started having babies then marriage. If marriage at all. So now the kid is possibly going to deal with rejection, possibly going to deal with abandonment, might not trust certain people. And it's like, now there is no strong foundation. A house divided cannot stand. there's already a division in the home. And it's going to be even harder. Say you want to bring another person into the mix, right? There's a guy, they're interested. Now it's like, that's not his kid. But you'd want him to treat your child like it was his kid. You're missing out on the first that you guys could have created together. Like our baby, our home, our this. Because I've already got that experience. But not in the beautiful, exciting way it could have been. I went through it alone. Because I went outside of God's plan and did babies before marriage. I don't have that financial security that marriage could have gave me. Again, doesn't mean it's going to last forever, but it's biblically, there's a foundation within marriage. You'll have security. You'll have a little bit more stability. You'll have help. But it's like now I'm just sitting here a little ashamed, a little sad at myself, a little confused. Like, what am I doing? I'm a lot of anxious, a lot of exhaustion. It's like a lot of feelings because you're like, dang, these are all the sins that I've committed against myself by defiling the marriage bed, by laying with someone before I got the ring, okay? A long-term effect for like a 5-minute pleasure. One of the biggest things for me is the fact that I am a woman raising a son. I know how to be a woman. I don't know how to be a man. The fact that I have to try and teach my kid how to be something that I am naturally not, it's gonna be a little harder. There's no male figure for him to watch, to guide him, to show him where to go. And honestly, sometimes I feel like I don't trust myself because how did I make that type of decision? Like I didn't fully think when I made that decision, you know, to lay down. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about the consequences. I didn't think about any of that. So it's like, am I good at making these decisions? Like it made me question myself for a long time. And it's like right now I'm just starting to be more comfortable with myself or more content at what happened. Like I have a son. I know there's a quote that's like, you don't get what you need when you want it, you get what you need. You don't get a kid when you want it, you get a kid when you need it. So clearly there was something that y'all knew I needed, so I have a child. But for me it's just like, sheesh, was that the plan? Most likely not, because I went outside of the order of it. It's just interesting to look back and see what I've learned or what I've experienced being a single mother, and I completely see why. I see why God intended for babies to be in the confine of a marriage. Again, it doesn't mean it's the way we are. We're in a fallen state. We are sinners each and every day. It does not mean we were gonna follow that pattern, the order that y'all planned for us to a T, but I see why it was created. To prevent these feelings that I'm feeling now when I should be the happiest, or I could be doing homemaker things. I could be taking care of my home, taking care of my child, teaching him. But now, not only do I have to do that, I have to play my part, and I have to play my part, and I have to play the dad part when that's not the way it was meant to be for me. If you're a single mom, I feel for you, because it's hard, and like, try not to be bitter, try not to be angry, try not to be angry at yourself, because again, everything happens for a reason in God's divine timing. Like, everything happens in God's timing. So just try, big emphasis on the try, because I'm currently trying to just accept it. I've been a mother for more than a year, and I am shocked that I'm still shocked at the outcome of everything. I'm still like in awe, like what is going on. I don't think I have caught up to the present moment. I'm still somewhere in the past trying to catch up to now, because I'm just like, wait, how, wait, where, wait, why? Like, it's just trying to catch up. So big emphasis on the try to accept things for what they are. Try to accept the things that God hand delivered to you. Try to accept the decisions that you made, because they happened for a reason. Okay? So these are some of my realizations after having a baby outside of a marriage covenant, and I just wanted to share them with you. So please, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, let your girl know how you feel, and I'll see you next time. Bye, gems.